What's up, Raiders fans everywhere? Could the Las Vegas Raiders be pursuing safety Chuck Clark of the Baltimore Ravens? And also, should they be pursuing Chuck Clark of the Baltimore Ravens? These are the questions that we're gonna answer today. My name is WiFiWillie of the Raiders Rundown. I got this cool Raiders gear on, Ultra Games full zip fleece hoodie. Check out a link in the description if you want to get one of these. I love this, really nice and cozy. Got the Raiders logo right here. Love the AFC emblem as well, and obviously, and you got Raiders in the back. So check out the link in my description if you want to rock one of these. So the Ravens drafted safety Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame, and many people are thinking that they could be moving on from Chuck Clark. Chuck Clark is 27 years old, a 6-year vet out of Virginia Tech. He has a cap hit of $4.6 million this year, so the Raiders could really afford that, especially after the June 1st cuts. We know the Raiders declined the 5th-year option on Johnathan Abram, and when you look at our safety room here, especially at strong safety, there's really not a big commitment to anyone. Duran Harmon is someone I expected to compete with Johnathan Abram this season for the strong safety spot, but the guy is really only making $1 million a year, so clearly the Raiders haven't heavily invested in him either. The Raiders have hired Rob Ryan, who's a defensive assistant. He was the linebacker coach for the Ravens last year, so there is some relationship there. Chuck Clark has been really reliable the past 2 years. He's picked up 1,000 snaps each of the last 2 years. He had a 72.5 run defensive grade last year and a 61.1 coverage grade. He was targeted 31 times in coverage and gave up 448 yards. Compare that with someone like Johnathan Abram, who was targeted 68 times last year. Johnathan Abram was the most targeted safety in the NFL last year. Like it or not, that means that QBs looked at Johnathan Abram and thought, okay, I got to throw the ball that way. I'm going to get somebody open. I'm going to get a reception if I throw it that way. So Johnathan Abram, 68 targets, 409 yards given up, along with 4 touchdowns. Chuck Clark had 63 tackles last year, 2 picks, and 4 pass deflections. So here are my thoughts on the situation. Do I think it could happen? I think it's like 50-50. Yes, you upgrade the position. Yes, you spend a little bit more in cap, but really only about $1 million more in cap. Johnathan Abram is making $3.6 million. Chuck Clark would make 4.6. So you spend $1 million more to get some more production. And what's nice about waiting for the June 1st cuts is that the Raiders have some time to make this decision. So the new coaching staff, Patrick Graham included, will get to know Johnathan Abram, get to know the rest of the safety room, and think, hey, do we need to go out there and make a trade for somebody like Chuck Clark? So let me know in the comments if you would like to see this happen. Would you like to see us go out there and try to pick up Chuck Clark? I'm 50-50 on if it's possible. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, I do think it's worth it. If it was only for about a 5th or a 6th round pick. The reason why Raiders fans would even get excited about somebody like Chuck Clark is because it seems like we've just failed at the safety position for the past few years. I think one of the biggest mistakes that the Raiders have made historically and within the past 3 to 4 years is not moving on from players when you know it's not going to work out. Damon Arnett, I think we just tried to make it work with him for too long, even though we clearly knew he didn't have the talent on the field. Think about it, like Damon Arnett, yeah, he did some bad things, but if he was a really talented player, you could still be playing in the NFL. You can have the craziest attitude problems possible. You could be Antonio Brown, all kinds of people, Big Ben, you know what crazy allegations he has, but as long as you're a great player, you will see the field. And that's the crazy cold reality of this type of business. So Damon Arnett clearly never had the skills to get on the field. It wasn't just about his character. Same thing with Lynn Bowden Jr., the 3rd round pick, who's now Miami Dolphins backup receiver deep in the depth chart. We moved on from him relatively quickly, and I like that because he had personal problems, attitude problems is what Mike Mayock claimed, and that I liked. But I feel like with Damon Arnett, we've stuck it out too long. Johnathan Abram, he's flashed in certain moments, but just because he's a 1st round pick, we've stuck it out with him. You know, we've led with him being the starting safety every single year, even though he's had injury problems. And it would be interesting to see the Raiders sort of just eat that dead money anyways. Think about it. We're eating dead money from Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett right now. There's pretty much no way we can get out of that according to the NFL's rules. So clearly you're able to build a roster and still be okay if you're eating dead money from multiple 1st round picks. So clearly we can afford to do that with other 1st round picks in the future. I don't know, maybe something like Johnathan Abram. I hope Leatherwood works out and we don't have to do that with him, but it would just be really interesting to see the Raiders go ahead and kind of take that big risk. The reason why I feel like teams do not move on from 1st round picks when it's clearly not working out is because they don't want to look bad. The GM doesn't want to look bad, look like you made a mistake, you shouldn't have drafted the guy. guy. So you're going to tough it out as long as you can with this pick, just so you look like a good GM. And at a certain point, what a better GM does is just admit there's a problem and it's not going to work out and cut ties and just eat that dead money. I'm really interested to see how Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler handle their first round picks in the future. And it's cool because in 2023, we'll be able to see what their first round pick looks like. Either way, like this video if you watched it all the way through and subscribe to this channel to get more Raiders news and updates. We are going live tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern, and I hope to see you there. My name is WiFiWillie of the Raiders Rundown. Peace out and have a good one.